Every year, thousands of people move to the Silicon Valley of California, also known as Bay Area, to work for these big tech companies. There are many more who wonder how expensive it is to live in a place like Silicon Valley. Well, in this vlog, I'm going to answer that question in a minute. But before that, let's go and meet a friend of mine who moved to California just 6 months ago. Hello, Rahul.
Hi, come in.
So I'm right now at Rahul's place, and Rahul moved to California around 6 months ago. And I think he would be the perfect person to talk about how expensive he feels California is. I can smell herbs. Are we making tea?
Yes, masala chai.
Masala chai.
Special masala from India.
Wow, I can smell it. It's really nice. That's the best part of visiting an Indian home. You always get invited for tea or something else. So recently I got a call from a friend who wants to move to California, and she's been asking how expensive it is to stay here so that she can negotiate accordingly for the new position that she's getting at this new company she's gonna join. And that got me thinking, when I moved here last year, I had similar questions and I got varying answers from different people. Everyone had a different range to give and I was not really sure what to expect. That's why I decided to make this video. In this video, I'm gonna break down the expenses into 4 major categories. The first one being housing or rent, the second one being food, third being transport, and the fourth being extra activities.
Hey everyone, this is Rahul Tosa here. I moved to the Bay Area about 6 months ago. I joined PayPal as a software engineer.
What do you say is the rent for this apartment?
With a roommate, and this is a 2-bed, 2-bath apartment. The rent is in the range of $3,200, so we split the rent to make it like easy.
So in Bay Area, depending on your location, the range varies. There would be some properties costing you more than $3,200 and there would be some places costing you less than $3,200. But of course, $3,200 is no less amount. But what do you really get in this $3,200? So now let's talk about food. Food is not going to be something that takes up the major portion of your paycheck, but it's definitely going to be at least the second highest expense that you'll make when living in Bay Area. How much do you think you spend on food or groceries basically?
Basically about $100 a week. So monthly you can rough it up to $400 to $450 in the range. And that's because I cook at home. So that brings down my expense much.
The cost is very similar for me as well. Some weeks it's more and some weeks it's less, but on an average it's like $400 to $500 every month on groceries. This is also an expense that would vary depending on the diet you follow. If you follow like vegan diet or some other diet, things might get a bit expensive. I think we both follow mostly vegetarian, sometimes non-vegetarian diet. So $400 to $500 is what we spend. Now, of course, if you eat out a lot and don't cook at home as much as we do, then of course these numbers are gonna look different. Now, let's also talk about the third major expense, which is transport, because Bay Area is not the best in terms of public transport. I mean, there are light rails, there is BART and all of that, but it doesn't provide connectivity to all the places. So when you moved here and you didn't have a car, how much did you think you spent on transport?
Previously, I was in New Jersey and the public transport over there was much more reliable, and even groceries were near my house. So I could just walk up to a grocery store and get the things I needed daily. But here in Bay Area, I definitely need a car. Groceries and everything is like 5 miles away.
And Rahul recently bought a car. So how do you feel about the expenses now?
Right now is not the best time to buy the car because gas prices have gone up. And even the inflation is causing the rates to be a bit higher, but prices actually add up. So you get your EMI added up. Insurance here is 6 months, like you can buy 6 months. So that also gets added up, and gas prices. So depending on how much you move, you have to pay that much.
So the gas prices right now at Costco at least is $5 for the regular one, and for the premium it's a little more. So it does definitely add up. And then depending on the type of car you buy, you'll have to pay the monthly installment, and then you're gonna have insurance. I pay around $700 every 6 months. and so for a year I pay $1,400 just for my car insurance. I think I would say for gas I go around $100 every month, sometimes low, sometimes more, based on how much I am traveling, but I would say roughly $100. But I don't go to office. Rahul also doesn't go to office, so we just go out for getting stuff. So far we have spoken about the 3 expenses: housing, food and transport. Now the 4th one, the last but not the least, the extra activity. This is actually a very broad category, and depending on the type of person you are, the expenses would vary. Anything related to partying, going out, trips, eating out, hanging out with friends, all those expenses I would put into this category. And for the type of person I am, I don't do partying a lot, but I do go out to visit and explore new places. Rahul also does the same. So how much do you think you spend on going out and doing these trips?
In Bay Area, there's lots to see, and I like going out. About like every alternate weekend, I'm going some place or the other. And if it's a one-day trip in a month, then maybe if, like it'll be like twice a month. Then 400 would be around 300 to 400 would be expense. That includes food, gas, and any like entry ticket that I have to pay over there. So that gets added. But definitely, if it's like a 2-day trip or something, then you have to consider accommodations and everything. So the expense will accordingly increase.
There's actually so much to see in Bay Area that unless you are someone who doesn't like to go out, you would be definitely having a lot of expenses in this category. And this might also be taking the major portion of your paycheck after the housing, because it's very hard to resist to not go out and not explore these places, right?
Yes.
There's just so much to see.
Over here.
Yeah. By the way, there's a nice sunset going on and the clouds look orangish right now. I don't see the whole sunset, but let me show you the clouds. So back to the conversation, I think in terms of expenses, it definitely depends on what type of person you are and what you like to do. But there are certain expenses that's not going to change, like you still have to pay a high rent, because unfortunately the rents are very high in California. Yes, there are options for cheaper housing. If you want to live comfortably, then you will have to shell out that money. Food is not going to get any cheaper than what it is, so you'll be spending money on food. I think transport and the last category, that's where things can change from person to person a lot, because the type of person you are would determine how much you travel, how much you go out, how much you party and things like that. One more thing that you need to consider apart from the expenses is taxes, because California has higher taxes compared to other states. Definitely take that into account along with these expenses. So hopefully after watching this video, you would get a sense of how expensive it is to stay here in Bay Area, California, and give you some idea as to how much you really need to make and help you negotiate your salary the next time you plan to move to California or any big tech company. So I'm gonna end the vlog here. Thanks Rahul for being a part of it. So if you have watched the video till now, give a big thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Till then, bye-bye.
So, okay. कहाँ से start करोगे? पूरा start कर.
Yes. Okay. Let's bye. Come back. There's nothing to laugh. You're making me laugh.
Previously, I was in New Jersey, and there the public transport was much. Previously, I was in.